Hey AP, welcome to your conditionals review, and also, surprise, new skills that we'll be learning today. The first thing you guys might notice as you open up the starter code from your async work doc is that you are in a sketch JavaScript file, but we have no setup or draw function. I've actually gone ahead and deleted both of them because we are not working with anything today that is P5 library specific. Today, we are focusing on things that come from vanilla JavaScript, which is how programmers talk about JavaScript that doesn't have any added libraries or any extra code beyond just the core functionality of JavaScript. Part of why we're doing this is because I want to show you guys new cool things that you can use on their own or alongside your P5 projects. And part of why we're doing this is because a lot of the stuff we would do for conditional review you guys have seen before. Some of you saw it in summer work, some of you guys did it last year where it was a lot of if the mouse is in a certain place, make something change on the screen, and there's just only so many ways I can remix that and show it to you guys, and I want you to have this review and make it meaningful. So rather than trying to think through that and some of you just repeating stuff that you think is boring and you know how to do, we're doing it this way. So the first thing you guys need to do once you open this code is duplicate it. So you do that by going to File, Duplicate. If you don't see duplicate, it probably means you're not logged in. So make sure you are logged in, then come back to this link. As we are working through this, if at any point in time you feel that I'm going too fast or you need something reviewed, as always, please make sure you pause the video, rewatch what you need, and get yourself caught up. I cannot stress enough that when we do code along videos, you should have this YouTube video playing in a window, and then in a window next to it, so kind of half your screen, you should have the code where you are typing with me as we go. And again, just pause as needed. So for today, instead of dealing with stuff on the canvas, we are going to deal with JavaScript pop-up windows. Those are windows you've probably seen before that say are you sure you want to leave the page? Enter something in order to continue. We're going to figure out how to make those and use those to write conditionals. So the first thing we need to know is that there are three main types of pop-ups. There is an alert, which just shows a message with OK button. There is a confirm, which shows message with OK and cancel buttons. And then there is a prompt which shows message and takes user input. So I'm going to very quickly show you what I mean by all of these, and then we're going to get into some of the nitty-gritty specifics, and then we'll start using them. So again, I'm going to be typing fast. You hit pause to make sure you can keep up. We're going to try making an alert first, and to make an alert, I type the word alert. It is a function, so it has parentheses after it. And inside of alert, I type whatever message I want to send as a string, meaning it's inside of quotation marks. So I'm just going to write in, did you get my alert? And I'm going to hit play. And you'll see it pops up this message that says, did you get my alert? And then I can click OK. Now, this is really cool. But it doesn't do a lot for me. That OK doesn't really have a value. It doesn't hold anything. It's just a way to kind of slow the user down and force them to look at something. Confirm and prompt are going to be much more useful for us getting data from users. So let's look at confirm first. I'm going to write, did you get my alert? And when I hit play, you'll see that it says, did you get my alert? And there's just an OK button. I hit, oh, so now it says, did you get my alert, cancel OK. This is my confirmation. It displayed this alert first, and then it displayed this confirm that has an OK and cancel. So even without setup and without draw, we should still see that our code runs top to bottom, and it's going to run everything. So if you guys have something you know is working, go ahead and comment it out so that we can focus on just one piece. So now my alert that just says OK isn't going to display. Now it's just going to display my confirmation. So now when I hit OK, it says, did you get my alert, OK and cancel? And I can click either of those. Right now, clicking different ones doesn't really do anything for me. And that's partially because I'm asking a question and I'm giving the computer data, but I don't have a way for the computer to store or think about that data. So whenever I have something that gives me data, I almost always want to try and save it in a variable. So on line 7, where I wrote that confirm statement, and again it was just confirm parentheses, inside the parentheses I have some quotes, I'm going to create a variable before that confirm. So remember, to make a variable, we first need to use the words var or let, and often in AP you're going to see me using let just because it's a little bit of a more modern way to declare variables. It's a little bit more in sync with where JavaScript is in the year 2020. If you feel comfortable using var, that's okay too. But I'm going to type let test confirm, that's the name of my variable, equal confirm did you get my alert. And what this equal confirm really means is this test variable is equal to the result of however the user clicks in this box. So when I hit play now, it says, did you get my alert? Okay, cancel. When I hit OK, that response is saved to test confirm. And we can see what that result looks like by doing a console log of my variable. And for those of you new to this, console log is kind of like a print statement in Python. It's just going to print out the answer to my console. So now when I hit play, if it says, did you get my alert, and I hit OK, it's going to return true. If I hit cancel, it's going to return false. And so that's a note that I might add to my comments. Clicking OK returns true. Clicking cancel returns false. Both can be saved to a variable. So I'm going to come back to this in just a second. Right now I'm just going to comment all of this out so we can take a look at our prompts. Prompts are similar to a confirm where they're going to return something back to me, but the thing they return back is whatever the user says in response to what I am saying. So I'm actually going to write a prompt that says, how are you doing? And I'm going to hit play. And you'll see now, because my confirm statement is commented out, I don't get that message. I just get my prompt. It says, how are you doing? And it has a text box where I can enter an answer. And then same thing, I can hit OK or I can hit cancel. When I hit OK, nothing happens. And partially that's because I haven't told the computer to do anything with this information yet. So much like a confirm, down here I can make a variable for this. So I'm going to say let test prompt equal prompt. And again, this sets test prompt, my variable, equal to the answer of prompt. And then underneath it, I'm just going to go ahead and console log test prompt. So now I hit play, I type in good. The computer prints out good because whatever I said is now stored in that test prompt variable. And I know some of you right now are following along and you're like, cool, Miss Morgan, I get it, but why? And we're going to get to that right now. So I'm going to just make a note with prompt that I can save answer to variable to use later. And then I'm going to go ahead and comment this out so that we can start writing some code. So these user answers are things that you can utilize to make your programs run in a certain way based on things your users are saying. So we're going to first test this with a confirm box, and then we're going to test it with a prompt, and for both, we're going to practice writing conditionals and see how we can utilize our answers to match conditional statements. So I'm going to write code that asks the user if they're registered to vote using a confirmation, and it's going to respond accordingly. So the first thing I need to do is make a variable. I'm going to call it voter reg. And I'm going to set that variable equal to whatever they say for a confirmation. And in that confirm box, I'm just going to ask, are you registered to vote? Now, rather than just console logging the answer, I'm going to use a conditional here. Remember that in JavaScript, my conditionals always look like if the condition in parentheses, then a curly brace to open and a curly brace to close. Anything between these two curly braces is a part of that condition that will only run if the condition is true. So I can say, if voter registration comes back as true, notice true changes colors. This is something that is like particular to the JavaScript library. It's a Boolean. and it's worth noting that it has to be lowercase. If the voter registration comes back true, then I want to pop up a little alert that says, "Good for you, remember to vote." And that thing that's popping up because they're registered is between these two curly braces that match each other. Now, if they're not registered to vote, which would be anything else, meaning like they clicked cancel, they clicked away, whatever, then I want to say, "Alert, go register to vote." Now, if I hit play and I click OK, I get "Good for you, remember to vote." If I click play and I click cancel, I get a message that tells me, "Go register to vote." One thing that you guys coming in off of Python might notice is that white space doesn't matter as much here, my tabs and indentations. It is truly all about these curly braces. And if you ever, indenting is mostly for you guys to visually see what's happening. If you ever feel like your code is getting messy, you can click Edit Tidy Code and it will match all your indentations for you automatically. So let's very quickly take a look at what this looks like with a prompt. We're going to write a prompt that asks for the date, and then it's going to answer based on if it is the day we need to vote, the day after voting, or something else entirely. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a variable to hold my data. So I'm going to say let the date equal the answer to my prompt that says, "What is today's month and day?" I'm saying month and day because it's going to be very important in my conditionals that my answers match correctly, and I think this will get me the best results. So what is today's month and day? Then I'm going to write some conditional statements with if, parentheses, curly brace, curly brace. All right. Now, inside of here, the condition I'm matching is going to be if the date is the same as, two equal signs, November 3rd, then I want to say, in an alert, "Make sure you vote today." If it's November 4th, so else if, that is my second condition, else if the date is November 4th, I want to say, alert, what were the election results? And please notice as I am writing this, else if, unlike else, has a condition in parentheses that needs to be true or false, and it has a curly brace to start and a curly brace to end. Now a reminder, you can have lots of else if statements. You only have one else statement and it always comes at the very end. So my last thing is going to be an else. Else has no condition. This is if it's any other day of the year. I'm going to say alert, guess it's not an election day. So now, when I hit play, oops, I get my registered to vote message. I forgot to comment that out. I hit OK. Remember to vote. Good job. What is today's month and day? If I type in November 3rd, I should get "Make sure you vote today." I'm going to comment this stuff out so I don't keep seeing it. And this is a good message for you guys. When you get something working, you don't need to keep seeing it. Comment it out. It's fine. Just comment it back in before you give it to me. Now I can test this. So, what's today's month and day? I tested November 3rd. Let's test November 4th. It says what were the election results. And then I could do play one more time. And I could say November 6th. And it says guess it's not an election day. So this runs as promised. What you guys are going to be trying to do is using mostly prompt, sometimes confirm, to answer these challenges. And just like I did for all of them, you'll be making a variable to hold the results. And then you will be testing the results of that variable in different conditional statements. If you need help, please reach out in Slack first, talk to each other to get help, but then definitely come to office hours. We can talk through anything you need to. I do just ask that you come with questions, and possibly even an attempt. It's okay if your attempt is a lot of like comments and ideas, but don't just come to me with something blank because it's very hard for me to help you that way. I'll talk to you soon. I'm excited to see what you guys make.